Stripping down your Necmad Tharma 222 double-barreled vaccinator. So in your kit with the Tharma gun, you'll have a set of instructions, your Tharma double-barreled vaccinator, length of tubing, set of all internal parts, so valves, springs, O-rings and screws, with some lube included. Full set of stainless steel fixed dose plungers. These range from 0.1 of a mil up to 0.5 mil. A small screwdriver. A very small Allen key. 2 of these ascending tubes. And a needle bridge, which allows you to put the vaccines from both barrels in through a single needle. So what you need to strip it down, unless you're planning on changing your plungers or O-rings or valves, is just your screwdriver, your gun, and it's probably not a bad idea to have a multi-tool or another set of pliers or multi-grips as well. So, to get started, the first thing you want to do, if you're performing a complete strip down, is to remove the needle nuts. So to do this, break the seal from how tight they are and screw them out of the gun. When you pull out the needle nut, oftentimes the spring will come with it, so you can just put that in there, set it to one side and keep those together. And you also want to get out your little stainless steel ball valve. So to do that, just put your screwdriver down into the end of the barrel to get it out of its seat. And it'll come right out. It's a little stainless steel ball valve there. And set that aside. Repeat this on the other side, on the other barrel. Now, to take off the barrels on the Tharma gun, the Necmad gun, you also you need to remove the tube connectors, because if you try to take the barrels off with the tube connectors on, they'll just bash into each other. So to do that, once again, with a multi-tool or other set of pliers, just break the seal on those and wind them off. Now when you take off the tube connectors, you want to turn the gun upside down. This will stop the little ball valve in that tube connector from getting away on you. Set that aside. Also remove your spring and this little white nylon spacer. Do that on the other side as well. And now you'll be able to remove your barrels. So to do that, just twist them out of the body section of the gun. Now, to remove your plungers, you're going to need your small screwdriver. These little screws that screw into the body section of the gun, you want to loosen each of those off and wind them out. Now, you don't need to pull them completely out of the gun. You can do if you want to, but it just makes it easier to keep everything together. Then you can pull your plunger assemblies out of your barrels. You can dismantle this back section of the handle. It's not strictly speaking necessary most of the time. To do that, you would just wind off this small nut here. Now I'm not going to do that at this point because I want to keep this video short. If you need to dismantle the plunger assembly to either change the dosage of your gun or to replace this handle spring. It's a very simple thing to do. All you need to do is get to this little nut here that's on the end of the plunger assembly. Give it a bit of a twist with a pair of pliers. Wind it off. Set that aside, and you can also remove your handle spring and this little retaining section that fits into the body of the handle. You can at this point remove your O-rings. Once again, I won't do this well, at least not on both, but the trick to that, if you're going to use the screwdriver to do it, is just to get it under the O-ring on the longer side of the piston and kind of push it up diagonally to peel off the O-ring. And to put those back on, you just simply squeeze them over the edge. You would also, if you also needed to do your other barrel, you could repeat that all on the other side with the other plunger. Now, reassembly, you pretty much just reverse everything you've just done. Now, as you can see here, I've spread everything out on a table in front of me. That is a good way to do things, because then you've got the parts from the correct barrel all together, and you can find them all and assemble them all quickly. So to reassemble, put this little retaining section back on first onto your plunger, then your handle spring, either new or old, and then put the little nut back on. Now you really, I can't stress this enough, you really want to make sure that those nuts are on tight. With the NECMAD gun, if things aren't done up tight, it won't work as intended. Make sure that they're tight. Repeat this on the other side. Then return your plungers to the barrel. So you will notice after you've been using it for a time that there'll be a small mark from where the screw digs into that little retaining section. Try to line that up so that you're only eating into the one area of the retaining section and not digging little gouges all over it. Repeat on the other side. And again, with these screws, make sure they're done up tight. If they're not done up tight, not everything will fit back together as intended. So next, replace your barrels. Make sure that you use the section that's got the longer straight end. That's the one that you want to put back into the handle section. And you're just going to wind those back into the gun until they pull up tight. You can, if you want to, give them a bit of an extra lick. Place the other side as well. Next, replace your little white spaces, and you want to put those so that the recessed side, the dimpled side, faces down towards the barrel. And just wind those on there with just at the tube connector area until they pull down tight. Do that on both sides. And then you can replace your tube connectors. So with the tube connectors, which are a back valve, you want to put your spring in first into the barrel, and then turn that barrel back upside down again and replace the tube connector. And again, you want to make sure that's tight. Repeat on the other side. And finally, you can replace the needle nuts. First, Drop your ball valve back into the barrel you're going to replace the nut on. Then put your spring and needle nut back into the gun. And then repeat on the other side. And that's it. You now know how to dismantle and reassemble a NecMad Tharmar vaccinator.